come around to say hello. One-on-one, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you, it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
The report says clearly over here, as government mulls this impeachment, we've seen the storeroom. This storeroom was accessible to all, said Justice Varma. The storeroom is used by all and sundry was the contention. Well, the report says witnesses, the door always was locked and padlocked. Not true that it was open to everybody. The storeroom was used by all and sundry. Key to lock was accessible only to the residents of the house. No possibility of access sans permission. So only the residents of the house could give permission to open this outhouse room, the storeroom where the sacks of cash were found. This is what witnesses have told. In fact, this also goes on to the next part. The next part where the contention was no cash or currency was found at the site. That was the contention. I don't know. How did it come there? Well, it was overruled by the report. It was seen and recorded by fire and police officials. This is what the committee has found. The debris was burnt, articles were removed, and the debris consisted of not just sacks of notes that were present, it was also of many other household goods that were stolen. Long-time aides won't contradict Varma was something that the committee noted, because all the people working at home, and there were 16 people working at home who were questioned. 16 people, helps of various kinds in the 6 servant quarters that were there. 16 people were questioned, and the report chronicles each of their deposition. Forensic probe verifies authenticity. Call detail records, all the messages, CDRs, everything has been examined, and that's what the report has concluded. Let's now look at the... Now, this brings us to the most damning part of the probe report. Well, the details in this report clearly show us, and these completely rip apart Justice Varma's already very fragile line of defense. Video evidence of his staff's presence and complicity. Let's first see the video. This has been shot by one of the first responders on the intervening right of 14th and 15th of March. Take a look at this video.
महात्मा गांधी में आग लग रही है भाई। महात्मा गांधी में आग लग रही है भाई। महात्मा गांधी में आग लग रही है भाई।
Did you hear? महात्मा गांधी में आग लग गई, राहिल। महात्मा गांधी में आग लग गई, राहिल. And there is a word called Rahil. Now, the video captures a person calling for Rahil. Proves that staff at the spot saw the burnt cash. And Rahil is a person who works in the house of the said judge, Justice Yashwant Varma. That is what the committee has come to the conclusion. And who was calling out to Rahil? Well, the other person who is probably there at the entrance and calling out to Rahil, and you can see a video, phone video being recorded by the firemen. It was R.S. Karki, Justice Varma's private secretary, the man who's known to have first called up the judge, also gave continuous reports to the judge through the night, because the judge was not present in Delhi. It was a holy holiday and he was in Bhopal. R.S. Karki, the private secretary, present, and Mohammad Rahil, Justice Varma's domestic staff, were both present. So the fact that nobody from the family or from the household had seen, there were only police or fire officials, that is a contention that was made by Justice Varma in his first defense. In his first defense to the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, Justice Upadhyay, the staff was at the spot. The calling out of Rahil is heard in this video, and they clearly were there when the burnt cash. Mahatma Gandhi jal rahe hain bhai. Ladies and gentlemen, this decoding and the word that was uttered clearly, shows and demolishes Justice Varma's defense. R.S. Karki, also present over there, shows that if these people were watching, were looking, why did Justice Varma depose and explain that there was nobody from the house? However, Rahil, after first saying he was present, later retracted his statement. Let me also tell you about the contentions and counters, clearly showing that the odds are stacked against Justice Varma. The probe of the probity. Paragraphs 78, 79 and 80 of the 64-page report, which is the real conclusion, where the signatures of the three said judges, Justice Sheel Nagu, who was the chairman of the committee, the other two, the members, I've seen their signatures with my own eyes. And that verdict says that the cash was found in Justice Varma's storeroom. So all the denials really don't cut any ice. Verdict says that. Then the verdict goes on to also say that access in active control of the judge and the family of the judge, so he cannot plead ignorance. Burnt cash was removed from the storeroom the next morning. These were the three questions the committee had to give answers to. And it also says that the cash was removed by those within the house, the staff within the house, not the police, not the firemen. Call to initiate proceedings for removal of Justice Varma, very much part of this conclusion. Now, after this report was submitted to the Chief Justice of India on the 3rd of May, he wrote to Justice Varma the next day, giving him the option to either resign or take voluntary retirement. However, 2 days later, Justice Varma responded on the 6th of May by calling the findings perverse and the probe unfair. This is exactly how it played out. Probe panel report on the May 3rd. May 4th was the action by Chief Justice, former Chief Justice now, Sanjeev Khanna, who wrote to Justice Varma to resign or take voluntary retirement. Well, just take voluntary retirement. Not something that you and I would be allowed to do. But never mind, it was recommended either resign or take voluntary retirement. And then on May 6th, Justice Varma responds, calls the probe unfair and the findings perverse. This is what he responded in his 6-page response that was given.